Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name's Raynday. Today we're going to be playing Soul, doing some Soul gameplay and a guide on this voluptuous sun goddess here. And I'm going to be talking to you about her abilities, how to use her, how to play her. So if you guys are interested in that, want a heads up, this is exactly the guide for you if you're looking at just getting yourself into the mindset of how to play Soul. Now, Soul basically has this passive called Heat. And what it does is it increases her magical power and her attack speed for the more heat that she gets. All of her abilities give her heat. And it shows you right down here how much heat it gives you per ability. And then also each basic attack gives 5% heat. So it's interesting. I think it's a cool passive. It actually is one of the stronger passives I think that we've seen in a long time. And Hi-Rez, as a result, just a few weeks ago had to nerf it. And that was a little bit of a very needed nerf because she was super strong. I still think she's strong. I still think Soul is a very strong character, but she's not as strong as she was. And you know, I think also I think the mentality behind her from the community is that she's way too strong, and we need to thus hook her up. Now I'm gonna dodge all this ish, right? We'll get a little damage, and we'll throw some damage back. These are my friendly tornadoes, so I'm not worried about that, but goes ahead and kills the Ares anyway with the Zeus damage there. Just too much to really hold on to. I've seen so many deaths. Be really careful coming around that corner after you get buffed. I've just seen so many deaths. I've been aggressed on so bad. Capri's still in here. Wow. What a freaking confident Capri, huh? I thought that... There we go. There we go. That's not a problem. We'll throw our ultimate down. Let's see what we can do. We'll put that down. Let's hit some basic attacks. Hit some basic attacks on this Loki. He doesn't know where I am. There we go. We'll do that. Zeus is not going to hurt me here unless he detonate charge, which he might. Oh, but it runs out. There we go. So we get a couple kills there, and that's a good start. Soul is really a basic attack focused god, so I haven't seen a lot of people build her that way. They build her very magic power, but I saw someone actually in my time playing her build her with Telkhines, and I actually really liked it. They did really well, and it's one of the things I'm going to show you guys today because there is a variation in the way you can play her. You can play her full attack speed, and you can actually do pretty well. I think there's still a couple of solid magical items that are core on her, like Rod of Tahuti, because her magical scaling is pretty strong, and also with her passive increasing your magical power by a percentage, right? Your passive increasing 1% magical power as you gain heat. I think with Rod of Tahuti that actually synergizes pretty well, as each magical damage point you gain from your items also, and you know that you have, it just also increases. I'm actually not sure if Rod of Tahuti takes from the passive, but I know it will take from items, so you're basically just from two sources, your passive and Rod, gaining a lot of extra magical power that you normally wouldn't have. Yeah, but again, she's a basic attack god. She can move very fast. She can build up her attack speed, movement speed. It's very nice. And here we go with the Ares ult. Let's see what we can do. I've got my ult coming online, so I throw that down. I do not get a kill. The Loki is around, so I'm curious about where he's going to show up. Very curious, actually. Let's see if we can actually go ahead and finish off the Loki. Best way to handle a Loki, in my opinion, guys, is an Aegis. It definitely is. New Wa needs to get hit. Oh, not enough to take her out. But we do stun the Cupid and get out incorporeal. Hit R1 immediately. And if he's not following, so we'll pull back. Didn't get any kills there, but our team is still doing pretty well. And let's get into the abilities so you guys know exactly what Soul is doing. And, you know, yeah, so basically your number one is called Radiance. And it is a self-heal, basically. And it will allow you to heal yourself back up based on the amount of missing health that you have. So this will heal more the more close to death you are. So it's not really that strong of a heal. It is just a helpful sustain if you kind of want to stay in lane and think you should be going back, but you know, you want to stay in for that last minion, or you want to stay in for that last engagement. That's kind of the point of that. I'm careful about the Zeus damage and getting hit. Hopefully I can avoid the detonate. I can, very nice, by going incorporeal. You guys are probably like, what is he doing? What does that even mean, incorporeal? I've never heard that word. You've heard that word if you've read any of Brandon Sanderson's let's see, what is it? Oh my god, now I'm forgetting the name. It's where everyone's superheroes and there's the big comet. What is it called? Gosh, I cannot believe I am not remembering. Oh man. And Zeus has got there. And so we'll see, I think Loki is still over here. Oh. Stay alive, stay alive. There we go. Get a little bit of damage onto Miss Nuwa, and we'll pull back. Zeus coming in, trying to finish off the Cupid. Man, I cannot believe that changed to me. So much damage, Zeus now lately. Just so much damage. In the meta, just being picked up by a lot of SPL teams as well, due to the fact that, you know, he just does so much damage. People are like, well, let me just see if I can figure out a way to babysit this guy, because he's got no mobility, right? But it's like, he just does so much damage, it's hard to ignore the fact that if I could have him somehow being protected and not having that much being able to do it in the back line, how strong it would be. And you know, even if he's dying, I've seen Zeus basically lead all damage charts. That's kind of my experience from watching him in this last weekend. So very, very just important to stay away. I mean, as a soul, you can basic attack him, right? But you don't exactly win that, because a smart Zeus will wait until after you go incorporeal and to detonate his charge, and you will basically be screwed. You'll basically be screwed. Even if you get him close to dying, he's going to kill you, because he'll be able to stack up so quickly with the chain lightning and the aegis shield bouncing off, you know, yourself, other players, etc., etc. He'll just be able to stack, you know, that so quickly to have a 3-time detonate. And you'll be done. Ares with a really nice pull. These guys, no way! He's gonna finish him off. Nice. And we might get him. Nice. Nice. Don't get the Loki there. The Ninja picks him up, but that's fantastic by us. We're 4-0-8. And we're winning by about 60 ticks, so this is a good game to showcase. Number one, basically, like I said, it's kind of like a little bit of a sustain. The main component of this, and the reason why it should be on your radar, is because it builds up heat. So heat being a very important aspect to doing more damage, it builds up the most amount of heat as quickly as possible. As you can see, look at my little heat bar here. I'll use my number one in just a moment, and it'll go up to about 80% full. I'll use that, should be about 90%, and then a couple of basic attacks to get it close to 100 here. And actually, it's not 80% yet. That's the max rank. It was about 70, so it was actually 60 at the time I did it. Now it's 70. Max rank, it's 80% full. And so that's something you just want to be aware of. As Soul, you know, you don't want to go into the battle and throw out your abilities before you've got all your damage laid out, right? This Kepri doesn't seem to be knowing what she's doing. I do not want to get stunned, but I'm in the danger of being stunned. We'll hit this Loki. Oh, actually, we don't hit him. Oh, we don't hit him at all. That was good dodging, I guess. Or bad shooting, whatever. So regardless, now we're back up, we're at full heat, and you can see she cosmetically actually changes. Watch as she goes down away from that, she just looks a little bit different, a little bit less like highlighted and focused, etc. And so we'll get back to full heat here. Ares looking like he's aggressing, Kepri going to support. I'm coming in a little bit behind, wanting to throw a little bit of damage onto the new wall. We do hit her up, and I'm able to go forward with a couple of basic attacks. I want to land one before she goes up into the air. The Cupid gets pulled, he gets stunned by the Ninja. Kepri ult comes on, and the Loki bursts out. The Cupid ult goes down. I'm incorporeal, so I will avoid the damage. The Kepri ult goes away from the Cupid, and we're now able to pick him up with my ultimate, sealing the deal. Kepri in the back line trying to support, grabs for the Naja, but I'm going to finish off. Actually, Naja will finish off the Loki there as well. The new Wa looking to get some just some salvation there, just some like, oh man, we're just burning her down with these basic attacks. It's hurting. The Loki is coming. I see him. He's right there. He's coming that way, and I burst back. He avoids my damage and gets away to safety. I think that was a smart move by him. Kepri looking to aggress here. They need to do something to change this game. We are up by 60 points. It doesn't look like it is changing. I'm 5-0-9. And, you know, now we're back getting our next item, which is Polynomicon. So you guys look at the build. We'll keep talking about the abilities, but as you look at the build, which I think is important to discuss in this one, you have Telkhines Ring, which is giving you magical power. It's giving you health and attack speed. Your basic attack hit deals 40 additional magic damage to the target. I like to pick this up before Demonic Grip, which is her main. If you're going to go for one or the other, you probably go for Demonic Grip because it attack speed, more magical power, and also it's a reduction in protection. So it's kind of like penetration. But early game, if you're going to go for both, Telkhines is better there to pick up, because that 40 damage is going to mean a lot more to someone early game than late game. You know what I mean? With, 2,000, 3,000 health pool, 40 damage isn't that much, but with a 100 health, maybe a 600 health pool, right? Or maybe a 1,000 health pool, a couple of hits there, that's a good chunk, 10% of their health going away in extra damage. Now, he's going on the Gulkukan. I can see that coming a mile away. The Ninja stun, however, is enough to do it. And doesn't kill the Loki, but I'm able to stay there for the last basic attack to kill him, getting in front of the Cupid. Now, let's see what they decide to do here. This is the question. Where's the new Wash? He does go ahead and get a kill on the Ninja. Very, very good stuns, though, coming from him. So he's played a good game. I've actually really enjoyed playing with him and this team. The Ares is really hitting his stuff. The Nuwa hiding behind her clay minions. Very smart move by Nuwa. Such pressure from those minions. You definitely want to, use them as kind of your own front line. Nuwa can kind of create her own front line pressure to get in there and get her abilities off, because the threat of being stunned by those minions and getting hit with the burst damage, I think it's called Stellar Burst. I don't know what it's. No, that's my ability. Stellar Burst. I don't know what hers is called. Shining Metal. That's what it is. Shining Metal. If you get hit with that, it's very difficult. So. Just looking at that build, then we'll pick up, again, Demonic Grip. I told you that's the protection reduction after you hit it, so it kind of stacks. And then you have Polynomicon. Polynomicon, magical power, mana, magical lifesteal, and the most important is the passive. So I'll explain the passive. Basically, after you use an ability, your next basic attack is kind of charged, and it grants in extra damage to that 120 that just flew over the minion. It grants in extra damage percentage of your magical power. A pretty high percentage, I believe 60%. So very, very strong. Scales with how much magical power you have in total. Really, really nice. In conjunction with the Telkhines Ring, with the Demonic Grip, reducing their protections. You're hitting some nice stuff. The Loki is coming. Just a bad game for the Loki there, because it's a little bit too obvious. They don't have too much of a team aggression. What Loki's doing is the right move. He's not being the first to aggress, but he's being the second. He needs to be the third or the fourth, to be honest, and that's how he's going to sweep up kills and get away. Because if he's the third or the fourth, so the ult is on Kepri, but he's just going to come back alive. And with the reduction in health that's taken place, getting hit by the new Wa there. But I'm looking to kill the Kepri with my ult. I do not kill him, but I might be able to finish him off with my number 2. I think we're going to dive this. And the Ares looking like he might get taken out. Oh, no. What an ult by the Cupid. Oh, my God. So strong. What an ult by the Cupid, saving my life there. I am still 7-0. Wow. That was very, very nice. And let's get my next item, which is going to be Rod of Tahuti for me. And then we're going to talk about the abilities and finish that off. So the number 2, Stellar Burst, basically the reason this is great is because it can proc your Polynomicon. So normally for most characters, you use an ability and then you have to hit the actual basic attack, right? You have to do that. Her number 2, as you notice, will actually proc. Well, you couldn't see it there because I think I waited too long. But after you use an ability and you use your number 2, it will actually proc the Polynomicon itself. So you kind of don't have to do the work. As you can see, hitting both times there and proccing my Polynomicon. I actually didn't use my number 2, but just throw it there, hit the Loki. As you see, look at that damage coming off. That's the Polynomicon burst as well. So it's unique that an ability can apply, and that's because her number 2 actually counts as a basic attack. It's actually a ranged basic attack. It just changes her next basic attack to be this range kind of circular thing that goes in and out. The Kepri kind of looking a little bit tired of this game, and I don't blame him. I do not blame the Kepri at all. I get stunned by Nuwa here and looking for the Loki because it could be an issue. He must be like, really, guys? You guys are that over me? Yeah. Now, see, the Nuwa, that damage didn't really hurt me. It just stunned me. And the stun is still important, but the real damage from Nuwa comes when you hit the stun and the shining metal. If you can hit the stun by hitting your clay minions and soldiers, but if you hit the clay minions and soldiers and hit me, that's when the real damage takes place. She wasn't able to do that because I think I was a little bit too far out of her range. The Loki not getting picked there, and the Kepri almost trying to grab. Oh, wow, nice. Trying to bully the Loki a little bit more than we have been. I feel like the kid who was bullying the blind kid on TV. I just feel like picking on somebody who just doesn't need to get picked on right now. He's already got it tough. Okay, he already can't see. And also, I don't understand how that happens, man. What do you do? What's going on in your life to where you got to pick on a blind kid? I don't know. Anyway, sorry to digress, but it's just interesting. And now you talk about, let's talk about our number 3, because it's very important. The number 2, like, basically the last thing I want to say about it is that it's a very good wave clear. It's kind of the thing you want to max first. Then I max my number 1. Then I max my ultimate, and then I max my number 3. So priority goes to the ultimate there after a certain point. One of the things is that because Khepri... Okay, so he's coming back, right? Oh, going to Loki. And I'm going to get caught. Uh-oh. I'm not going to get caught. Alright, here we go. You guys want the battle? It's real. I accidentally won because Kokukan helped me, but I was going to really battle. I was really going to do it. Yeah, number 2, great wave clear. Goes in and out. Really good burst damage. Really good finisher. Definitely put yourself in a position to hit that. It gives her a little bit extra range on her basic attacks. Makes her very strong. But again, you know, she can't be as aggressive as before because she doesn't have as much movement speed as before as a result of her passive. I actually don't know if they took it off the passive. I wish I would have freaking checked before I made the video. But it feels like I can't find it now. And, you know, her movement speed used to increase quite a bit. Let me just look at this here. She gains 1 attack speed. Yeah, it looks like they might have removed the movement speed. And so that was interesting. So she's not as agile here. And maybe it never had movement. Oh, my God. Just look it up. You'll see. That's not the most important aspect, because what it is now, there's no movement speed on it. It doesn't really matter. But the component that this has is this basically acts like a very, very strong Fatalis. It acts like, essentially, it gives you no movement speed penalty at all, even while you're firing your basic attack. So as you can see, I'm moving just as fast, firing my basic attacks for 3 seconds in any direction. So that's a really nice, that's basically Fatalis, except for Fatalis, you have to land your attacks. I can keep firing whether I land them or not. It's going down, right? Now, Loki is coming. Oh, no, not really. And so it's really strong if you're going to battle someone 1v1. It's a really good escape because, of course, you can go like this, fire at them as they're coming after you, and then, of course, the second part of the ability, you go incorporeal. Now, incorporeal means you cannot take any damage, you also cannot heal, and you also cannot do any damage. Basically, nothing can happen to you or from you for 3 seconds, which is really good in retreating, and it's kind of like a little bit of that Khepri ult immunity where, you know, people know they can't really attack you, so it's kind of wasteful to dive into the back line to go and get you unless you're too far away from your base. So staying safe as a soul should be relatively easy, especially in comparison to other mages that don't have a lot of mobility. She's not one of them. She's got a lot of mobility, so she can definitely stay a little bit safer than most mages. I've got a lot of money. I'm going to go ahead and back and finish off this build here, which will end with a Soul Reaver. And you will see that because of the fact that I like having that extra proc of unexpected burst damage come out from my number 2 as well. It can really, really take someone down, almost to about 30% health from what I've seen. I don't have it yet, so don't be looking for it. But when I do finish it, hopefully by the end of this game, which is ending very soon, we'll be able to do it. So Khepri, Loki, Cupid there coming in. Now, the thing they changed about Soul, which is really great, which I really like, is they made her ultimate a lot better. They gave it a little bit more damage, and it basically sends strikes from the sky that you can, you know, look at, right? And you can kind of direct, and they land successively. So the thing is, when you use that, it knocks someone up the first time they're hit. So the very first time they get hit with that, they get knocked up, right? And not like in the pregnant way, just, you know, obviously in the way that they get knocked up into the air, into the sky. And what happens is, the next times they get hit with it, they take 20% reduced damage. So this goes from 350, you know, maybe look at that, 600 damage near there, to then 20% of that per each successive hit. So that's definitely a huge reduction in damage for the player receiving it, but it does really make for a nice combo if you use your number 2 and then go ahead and use your number 4, your ultimate, because then you slow them, you hit them with the Polynomicon burst, you hit them with both in and out of the stellar burst, right? As it's a 2-part ability that damages both on the way out and the way in, and then once they're slowed, you go ahead and use your ultimate. So let's see if I can show you guys. Well, let's see. Go ahead and use the ultimate. Oh, wow, no. I don't have the ultimate. I want to use it right now. Okay, let's see. Let's use it there. A little bit of damage coming from the new walk. And I think we'll finish her off there. The Cupid going 9-1, myself going 9-0. Really strong game there. Divine gameplay with the soul. And for those of you who want to see more of a concise look about Soul, I'm going to be doing, this is a two-part series, so essentially if you want to watch the first part where I just kind of sit down and discuss Soul, discuss the item build, all of that good stuff, and you guys you know, want to just get kind of the quick nitty-gritty of what Soul is about, go ahead and check that video out. I'll post that in the description. I'll probably have a card down at the bottom of the video linking to that, so you guys can just click on that and see like the, you know, 2 to 5 minute version of that. But this is just the gameplay to show you guys the build in action. Hopefully you like it, hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully it works well for you. I tend to like this. I tend to do pretty well with Soul when I do this, as I do feel that most of my kills come from just strong basic attacks. 23k damage, not too bad, not too shabby. Definitely focusing the minions as well. It has pretty good clear. So all in all, I really like the build. I like Soul a lot. She's a fun character. Yeah, she got nerfed, but I think actually she is in a really good position now to see some gameplay in the Pro League in the next little bit. I think people will be coming up with ideas for how to use her. Her ultimate is still a little bit soft, but the knockup is really nice, and that initial burst of damage I think can be very strong, and it can definitely disorient a team if set up with the right combos. I'm just thinking, you know, a knockup with a Poseidon ult, and then you have the Soul ult come up with that, or you have you know, a Geb knockup to that, or you have this Soul ultimate and you have an Awilix pull after that, after they get knocked up. You know, there's just a lot of things that can happen. She works really well with gods that can stun other gods so that you can land your 2, a couple of basic attacks, and if your ultimate's ready, you can land that as well. So she works really well with gods like that. That can kind of set her up to go ahead and get some free shots. And the one thing I would definitely be scared of, or I would be careful about, is over basic attacking, because she can have a feeling that she's just so fast that you just throw your basic attacks for nothing. But remember, each one's going to do about 150 to 200, maybe 250 damage, not including your Polynomicon proc on the first hit. So make sure you make those shots count, because that damage really does help the team in the overall game and the overall team fight. So if you land 3, you've done a really good job. So don't just try and land 800 in a row by just holding down left mouse button. Wait and take your time. That's the advice I give myself, to really land a few and get that enemy down halfway, or you know, 40% health, and then go ahead and you can kind of go crazy, because they'll just be running in a predictable pattern back to their base at that point. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching. My name is Raynday. As always, never give up and never stop gaming, and feel free to subscribe, comment, share, and like the video when you see it. Thanks so much guys, and I'll see you next time.